got this package. A long story. I'm not going to bore you with it. I haven't bought a package in 20 years. So this was something new. Brand new beekeeper who wasn't ready for the bees, didn't have his equipment ready, gave it to me. So this is going to work out really great in this experiment. I'm going to experiment with a package of bees and a nuke of bees made on the same day. See what happens. But first off, I want to explain this package out a little bit. This person, brand new beekeeper, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, ordered his bees. They were shipped from Georgia through the post office from Mountain Sweet Honey Company. They were sent on Sunday, April 17th. They arrived on Wednesday in Delta, Ohio. Kind of surprising. The postmaster told me that they were shipped the slowest rate possible, the cheapest way. In my opinion, I would never ever send bees through the mail to be received. There are some dead bees in this package. That's not too uncommon. And in fact, coming through the mail, I was pleasantly surprised that half the bees weren't dead. I spritzed some sugar water on them yesterday. Today's Thursday now. Yesterday was a very cold, windy day. Today's warmer and windy. Since there are no bees clustered on this can, I'm assuming the can's out of sugar already. They pretty revved up. They seem pretty happy. Here's the shipping label. Came post office. I do not see the 2 loose bees that were on the outside of this package. I don't know if they escaped on the way from Georgia to Ohio, or if they rode on the outside of the package all the way from Georgia. But since there was 2 loose bees on this package, the lady working the counter would not touch the package, and the postmaster had to come out from his office to retrieve this package because they were scared to death of it. It does look in good shape. It was sitting upright. I'm surprised how much bee fecal matter are sitting all over this package. It does have a queen certificate or an apiary health certificate from the state of Georgia. So I'm going to spritz some sugar water on them here. I always like spritzing sugar water on them before I start to shake a package out. To spritz sugar water on the bees, all I do is mix up some 1-to-1 sugar water, put it in a clean, new, all-purpose spray bottle, and just squirt some sugar water on them. Right through the screen. You can see some of the sugars running down. Both sides of the screen. They definitely didn't get it excited as they did yesterday. So I think yesterday they were pretty hungry when I squirted sugar water on them. So they're kind of chilling. They've been outside here for a little bit. It's about 50 degrees this morning. Okay, I got my bricks out here. I like to level my bricks. These bricks are my hive stand. I prefer using bricks. They're cheap, easy to use. Here's for the package, and my nuke's gonna go right here. I got my bottom boards out here. I'm gonna put my bees to start them in a 4-frame nuke box to get them started. They can hold the heat a little better. It's April 21st. It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. 80 over the weekend. Mid next week, highs of 45. Got lids and inner covers, so I'm all ready. I also like to have this back brick just a hair high, so if any water pools in, it can escape out the front and not pool in the hive. Before I even start pouring my bees into my box, I want to make sure I got everything. I got my sugar water, I got a little pollen patty to feed them, got my jacket on, hive tool, smoker lit in case we need it. Hopefully we don't. And we'll get started here. Spritzing with sugar water again spritzing them with sugar water. Oh, works just about as good as smoke. I'm gonna dampen them up just a little bit again. They're busy feeding each other. They act like they're hungry, and that kind of keeps them distracted while I pour them out. I'm also gonna spritz some sugar water on these empty frames. I got 2 frames in this 4-frame box. That way most of the bees will drop down in. Sugar water does not hurt anything. This just, they're gonna be so busy licking each other and licking all this sugar water up off the wood, off these frames. They won't even want to leave. We want this to make it a pleasant home for them. I also have my entrance reducer in. This is less than 2 fingers, probably about an inch opening, way they can control their heat better. First off, I'm gonna loosen these staples up that holds the lid on. You never know how big the staples are. It looks like this plywood's gonna just come apart. Throw that off to the side. Got my can in here that's supposed to have sugar water in it. This is the strap for the queen. She's also stapled down, so I'm going to have to loosen this up, take this certificate off, and then I'm going to slam the bees down so I can get this can out without smashing any bees. You know, we don't want to hurt any of the bees. The more bees that you get into your hive, the better off you're going to be. They use some pretty good staples on these things. Well, pocket knife. Almost lost my queen. She's not sitting on anything. So what I'm going to do next is put my bail on. I'm going to keep my knife out in case I need to get this can out. Hold on to my queen. I'm going to thunk these bees and they're all going to fall to the bottom. They'll fall off this can and I'll be able to get the can out without getting stung. Get my veil up here now. Here we go. See, they all fell off the can. Some cans come right out, some don't. See if I can use my hive tool instead. Should have took the can out before I loosened my queen up. Every manufacturer is just a little different. You never know. Kind of just ease it up. You can see the bees are coming back up. There is some sugar in there. Here's my queen. All the bees are on her. We're gonna look inside. She's got several attendants in there. She is alive. She's moving around. You can see her here. She's the bigger one in here. She's up here on top. These bees aren't too aggressive. We're gonna let her stay in here for a couple more days. See, one attendant's dead. There's like 3 other attendants in there. You can see the bees just walk away. So we're gonna, for the quick time being, I'm gonna put her right there. Bees are starting to come out. My knife in here, and we're just going to dump the bees in this opening now. A lot of bees on the cage. I'm going to try to thunk them. Now we got most of them out. As you can see, I got bees flying. Got a few bees on the ground. I'm going to show you what's going on inside though. Let me grab the camera. Look at the bees instantly sucking up that sugar water that's on those frames. So I'm going to put my other 2 frames in. Make sure all the bees move away. My queen over here, I'm going to put her right in the middle. I want this queen opening where the screen is most visible to the bees, so the bees will cluster up on her and keep her warm since it's going to be cold. So it goes down in, pull this strap over here, pinch that queen cage right in there, move this over. And I don't like how that's sitting in there, so I'm gonna go find a little thumbtack to keep her strapped in there. There, now she won't fall down, get trapped down below. Got some bees flying around. I gotta get these bees off the edge, so I'm just gonna brush them with my finger. More spritzing on them, not gonna hurt anything. So as long as it's not cold out, you don't want to do this on a really cold day. Also blowing on the bees gets them to move. I'm gonna wiggle the box back and forth, push them down in. Alright, got my second hive body on. I'm gonna put this feeder in here. I'm gonna put this pollen patty in. I'm gonna rip it into 2 little pieces. I'll make sure this airlock's all out to the side. Drop my feeder in here to protect them. Got my feeder in. Put my inner cover on. Put the lid on. Got some bees that have gathered up on the box because it still smells like the old, where they've been for the last 3-4 days. I'm gonna knock some of these off right here in front. And that's how you install a package. Day 2 of the package nuke experiment. I know everybody always asks how long it takes for bees to drink the nectar or the sugar water that you give them. So we'll take a look here. See down into the bees. See my tub's about half gone. It wasn't clear full to start with. You can see some bees drinking. pollen patties still there. Cluster of bees. So we're looking good on day 2. I'm getting ready to install my nuke into my nuke box next to the package for this experiment. I got my smoker lit. Of course, it's really smoking right now. Got a piece of pollen patty with me. I got a nuke here that a lot of people wonder, you know, they think experienced beekeepers never make mistakes, but we do. I was making this nuke up to sell to another beekeeper. I painted the queen. I guess I'm getting old with the shakes. I painted her head along with her thorax. I will not sell that queen. So the queen's still in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna catch her. I'm gonna put her in a queen cage. They're in my pocket. And I'm gonna put her back in the original hive she was in. That way, this is gonna be a queenless hive, and we'll put a boughten queen in there this afternoon. So I'm gonna start. We got smoke drifting around. I also have my sugar water, that works good. And we're gonna find the queen. There's 3 frames of brood in here, some honey. This is only a 4-frame box, so the second frame's already got 4 empty frames, and I'm gonna put a frame of honey up there. And everybody's clustered down. It is about 10:30 in the morning. It's a little chilly today. I'm gonna put these in the same order they were in this nuke box. There's honey on the outside. Frame of honey with bees. Capped honey and open honey for their food. That's the way a nuke should be. We got a frame of brood here with a lot of bees on it. Honey in the corners. Capped brood. I got some drone brood down here on the bottom. It is spring. They want to raise babies. There's a little bit of open brood in here. Inspect the other side, capped brood. I see some larvae, different sizes of larvae. In a nuke, you want eggs, small larvae, large larvae, all stages. I see baby bees. They're gonna go in here to stay warm. I do not see the queen on that frame. Ease it over. Again, another frame of brood. I do not see the queen. And the queen's on this frame. There's lots of open brood, a little bit of capped brood, a drone. Queen's on this side. You can see my horrible paint job. Her thorax, she's got paint on her eyes, on her antenna. So far they haven't killed her, but I'm not going to take that chance to sell to somebody, so I'm going to catch her, put her in my pocket, and we're going to move her back to her original hive. Working one-handed sometimes is difficult, so you need to hopefully I can balance everything here. I'm gonna catch her by her wings and thorax, stick her head first into a queen cage. Come on, girl, walk in. There she goes. I'm gonna pick a couple worker bees, put in here too. And then I got some queen candy I'm going to cork this off with. Another one. That one doesn't want to go in. So I got my queen in there. I'm going to put my brood in here. I'm going to spin this around. It's got capped brood. There's my first 4 frames. Got queen candy here. been in the refrigerator, so it's probably a little on the hard side, but this queen candy's kind of a homemade fondant. So more or less plug her off. There is a little food in there. I'm gonna put them in my shirt pocket since it's cool out here. Keep her warm. Chest pocket works great for that. She's in there. All right, I'm gonna put my second box on. I got empty frames in here already. All the girls are going down. They don't know their queen's missing yet. I got this frame with honey again. I'm gonna put this up above. If this was a 5-frame box, I would have put it on the outside. So they're gonna go in there, center them out. My piece of pollen patty, put it on top here. Could have put it down below, but I already have everything together. I think I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put this close to the brood. Of course, I'm going to be putting a queen in here this afternoon, so everything will get moved again. There's a few bees in my box, kind of like we do with the package. Dump them out. Last one by hand. Put my sugar feeder up on top since they got to draw this wax out. We're gonna need feed. Today's cloudy day, a high of 56. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 80. Good old Ohio weather. Put my box here on to protect my sugar water. Inner cover, lid, and we're good to go. We'll be back this afternoon. I'm going to put a queen in here, and I think I'm going to let that queen out. Okay, it's Saturday now. We made this nuke up on Friday. We're going to put the queen in. Here's her queen in a cage. And on our package, we're going to pull the queen out. So we'll get started here. I'm going to release this queen from this package. 5. A few bees on the inner cover. I'm going to lift this off just to make it easy. You can see we put this out on Thursday. It's now Saturday. And almost all the sugar water is gone. So in a day and a half, 2 days, we've gone through that sugar water. Yeah. Open this up. My queen out. See the bees festooning on here. She's still alive. The workers are alive. You can see the worker bees on here. We're just gonna brush them. They're not fighting. So I think she's ready to be released. She's been in here either from Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure since I wasn't in charge of this package. I'm gonna lay her. Get my pocket knife out here. Let's see, all the bees get right on her. They seem to like her. They're starting to draw some foundation. They got sugar water since I'm feeding them sugar water. The weather's been really crummy. They're starting to draw that. And they got the backside started to draw. This looks beautiful. So as soon as she's ready to lay, they got some wax drawn. She's gonna be ready to lay eggs as soon as she gets out and gets primed back up. After she's quit laying eggs for a few days, sometimes it takes a little bit. And I'm just gonna pull this cork out of the cork end, and I'm gonna let the queen walk out. A worker bee came out. Another worker bee. Probably gonna have some worker bees walk in. She's still walking around. Here she comes. Oh, she turned around. Got worker bees going in. They want to get to her. They like her. Another worker bee in. That one backed out. I'm going to try to keep these worker bees from going in. Still a worker bee in there with the queen. Oh, there she is. She's right here on the back of the cage. It's not a huge queen. She's walking on the cage. I'm going to let her walk right off the cage, maybe. Making another loop around. And she walked right there and down between the frame. The other girls checking her out. This cage still has quite a bit of her pheromones on it. You can see the bees think she's still there. What I like to do is keep this queen cage with her pheromones in here, in the hive with the bees until they get used to it. So I'm just going to slide this cage in the bottom of the hive. Yes, it will probably confuse the bees a little bit. Got my pollen patty still here. I'm gonna push these together just a little bit now that the queen is out. So I got proper bee space here. I brought some more sugar water out to fill my feeder. Got a few bees left here. The only drawback about this feeder is you got to empty it before you can refill it. And you almost always get some swimmers. I got these on the bottom here. Tonight I'm going to have to make some more sugar water up. So that's about half full. Yesterday we had a high of I think 52. Pretty chilly. Today's supposed to be 80, so I'm sure they're going to drink this sugar water up. Got some loose bees here. I'm going to brush these off so they go back in the hive or fly or do something. This hive's looking very good. So far so good. Put this back on. Make sure I don't smash any bees. Of course, I had to put one drop of sugar water there. Inner cover. Lid. And I'm good to go. And that's it. You can see some of these bees coming in with pollen. Even though they're not even raising baby bees, they're bringing in pollen. They're still scenting the queen. Looks good. All right, I got my boughten queen from California. I like Russian carnelian queens, either or. This is a mix. She came from California. We're gonna put her in this nuke. She was shipped in a box by herself in the cage with worker bees. She's been sitting out here and some of the worker bees are attracted to her. That's why there's so many bees on here. So we're gonna try to keep some of these worker bees with her. And we installed this yesterday. Got my inner cover. Got this extra box on here. Still loose. There are a few bees up here, but not a lot. You see it around the sugar water. It's still almost full. They do have some honey in here, and I guess it goes to prove that they like honey better than sugar water. We're going to take this box off. This has got the frame of honey in it. I'm going to set this off to the side on top of this other empty box. I know you can't see it. We're going to spread these frames apart just a little bit. We took the queen out yesterday, so I know she's queenless. There's a gap in here. And I'm going to place the queen sideways so they can get to all the pheromone around here. It's going to be butted up on the frame up above where there's no ventilation or scent. I'm going to slide this down in. I'm going to give it a little turn, and it's wedged in the foundation. Turn my cap. And now I got my queen in there. I put a plastic cap on this JZBZ cage so they can't chew through. I want several days with her in here before I release her. Probably 3 or 4. So next week someday I will release that queen. Put everything back together. Almost forgot to put the sugar water back on. Sugar water here. Keep any other worker bees away. Inner cover and lid. And now we got our queen in our nuke, and in about 3 or 4 days we'll release her. Today's April 28th, a Thursday. My queen's been in here since Saturday. She should have come out yesterday or so. The weather in Ohio hasn't always cooperated. It's only 50 out today. Yesterday was 50, but it's time to release the queen. Hopefully she's still alive. We're gonna go in this hive and let the queen out. So the sugar water I fed on Saturday on the package was gone by Sunday afternoon. So weather depends. Over the weekend it was in the 80s, very warm. Now the sugar water's going down a lot slower. This is just about, yeah, it's still full. Right here's the level. I put this on Tuesday, so they're hardly taking any of it. It's been cold. These are probably all clustered around the queen down here. I'm not gonna dilly-dally a lot here. These here. A little bit of pollen sub left. Got a little cross combing going on because we got bee space violation here. They're just trying to fill things up. Move my frames over just a hair. Pull this queen out. Queen's still walking around. See, the bees are on here. They're nonchalant. They don't really care about her. I'm gonna open this up and let her walk on out. Right there. I'm sure she's not gonna, there she comes. Walked right out. Right down by those bees, they didn't even see her go out. I'm gonna slide these frames back together. That's all we're gonna do. She's released. The bad thing about judging these queens packages, when you receive a package, this queen's already been laying in my situations, at least 2 weeks. I want cat brood in my hive before I sell it to anybody from the queen. So pollen back here, pollen sub. Put this box back on. I think there's room here. I like to leave this queen cage in the hive for the simple fact it's got her smells on it. I'll let them continue to enjoy her pheromones. So that's in there. Put the feeder back on top. Put the box around it so nobody can steal it. And we're done for today. My lid on. Over here we'll put the sugar water. And they still have some. This package is taking the sugar water faster than the nuke is, but the nuke does have a frame of honey in it, and the sugar water is a little further from them, so everything's looking good. Okay, today's May 4th, Wednesday. I released this queen about, I think last Thursday, so she's been out for 6 days. We're going to check to see if she's laying eggs. We're going to check the package hive, see if that queen's laying eggs. I brought some extra frames out here. I know the package needs some more frames. They're all drawn out. I've been feeding sugar water whenever they need it. So we're going to fill the sugar water and we're going to check these bees. I got my smoker going back here. I also had to put a new bottom board on the package as my old bottom board's delaminating. So I need to replace that. Got some pollen patty back here, so we're going to get started. Today's not the greatest day to check bees. It's only like 55 degrees. It's cloudy. I'd much rather have 70 and sunny, but this is Ohio. It rained all day yesterday. It's going to rain again Friday. Tomorrow's not much better, so it's time to do this. This frame's all drawn out and full of nectar. You can see the shiny nectar in here. Sugar water nectar, basically. This side's drawn out better than the back, so I'm going to flip this around. I'll probably even raise it up one to encourage the bees to work up. This is what we wanted to see. So I got cat brood, dome of honey, honey sugar water. I got some eggs in here, some open larvae. And on this side, pretty much the same thing. Not quite as much cat brood, a lot of open brood. They got this dome going. From the edge of the frame to the edge of the frame, just the top little bit of dome. Oh, and there's our queen. Everything looks good. I've seen what I need to see. No use going any further. Gently put them back. I got my new box frames right here. First I got to put a new bottom board on. So I'm gonna pop this up. This here. Queen cage is still in here. I always like putting the queen cage in there so they can smell the queen for a couple more extra days. Full of, I always think those queen cages are full of pheromones. We put that there. I'm gonna pull one of these frames out. I'm gonna put this outside frame with primarily nectar in it up into the second box in the middle. They have no eggs to keep warm, but it's going to encourage them to work up. Put this empty frame right here. Put this on top. It's cold. I don't want to keep this open any longer than I have to. Space my frames. Put a couple pieces of pollen patty up here for them. I put little pieces in, not very big. Just rip off a piece. I put 2 pieces in. Rip the extra paper off. Put that there. I'm gonna refill my sugar water. And accidents happen, as in I spilled some, put 4 bees in there. Middle, put my protection around. And that hive's done. Now I know this other hive is a little bit slower. It's not drawing as fast. Of course, they were queenless. They didn't have an active queen till last week. So see what's going on here. They've been really slow on taking the sugar water too. They haven't drawn any wax out up here. They do have some honey that they've been working on. This is a frame of honey that came with the nuke. Lots of bees down below. Find a corner that I can get my hive tool in. There we go. That there. And like the other hive, they have filled, they've stored their nectar. It's all in this frame here. It's the front side was full, the back side's about half full, a little bit of honey. So they got their food down there. I'm gonna prop this frame up along the side here. Take another frame off. These are a little excited today. Move this frame over. I'm looking for eggs or real small larvae. This frame has still got hatching brood on it on both sides. I don't see my queen. Lots of drone material down at the bottom, a little extra drawing going on. When you buy a nuke, a lot of times, you know, you're getting frames and they especially this time of year. They want to build out. I don't see any queen cells, like they were trying to raise their own queen. More cat brood. Haven't seen the queen yet. Wish the light was better, but I think I see eggs. I definitely see eggs. So I got eggs in here. There's eggs in this open between the cat brood. Definitely eggs. Since I know the queen's laying eggs, there's no use bothering these bees any more than you have to. I got eggs, so she's been laying for at least the last couple days. I put this frame back just the way it was. The honey next to them. Ease it down in so you don't squish any bees. That's in. I'm going to put a piece of pollen patty right there. But that other frame sitting on top of it. Two little pieces. They'll sit there. I'm going to put this other 4 frames with that honey. There. Put the feeder back on. Take the queen cage away. Protection on. The other bees in this apiary can't get to them. Put my lid on, and I'm done with my inspection. I want to make an addition to the video. When I was taking the can out of the package, it's through a fast forward, you didn't see too much of it. I inadvertently punctured a hole in the can with my hive tool. I've gotten some reports from other beekeepers that say that some of these cans in packages, the holes aren't big enough for the bees to get the sugar water out of. And I found this to be very true. I poked this hole in it, and the sugar water would not drain out of this hole here. Even with a small ventilation hole, it should have burped through here. I ended up taking a small nail, increasing the hole size to drain my can. So this can be a problem with packaged bees. So I would very much make sure that if you can't get your package dumped into your hive on the day it arrives, to make sure you spritz some sugar water on them so they have feed. Looking in hindsight, they were hungry because they couldn't get the sugar water out of the can. So my bees were hungry. That's why they were very excited when I spritzed sugar water on them.